Okay. It's a Martin Kruenberg.
Yes,
Is it
Martin.
right?
Yeah,
Martin? Or
Martin. Just call me Martin.
Martin. Okay. Okay, no problem. So the rules are very simple. I will introduce you to the camera just for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And after that, I will just turn and we'll have a conversation.
Okay, easy.
And then of course I'll hold the bottle of wine just to promote your wine.
Yeah,
I just tell everyone, and so that's how it goes. So you can control your voice so that the audio can capture your introduction.
yeah,
So that's how it is.
yeah. So you want me to do an introduction about myself or
I will
about the winery?
I will introduce you as the second generation
Yeah.
of wine owners.
Yeah.
And then after that, I will hand over to you. I'll ask you a question about
Perfect.
How your family has built
Go
this
ahead.
industry.
Go ahead.
So you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. So let's look at the camera for a few seconds. Hi, welcome to the National Cruise Toys Online News. I'm Robin Stienberg. Welcome to my show again. And today we have a very unique visitor here in Singapore, and he's actually none other than Mr. Martin Kruenberg, and he's actually from Casa Brancaia.
Brancaia.
Oh yeah, Brancaia Winery based in Italy, and he's going to tell us more about his winery and his family that has built a great legacy in Chianti. And this is just one of his wine, 2009 vintage, which I really adore, and I want you to check it out here in Singapore if you are passing through or at your winery. And of course, your website, of course, is located at www.brancaia.com, and you can find more information about your wine. And so, Mr. Martin, tell us more about your family legacy. I know it's been a long while, and I heard that you're the second generation in charge now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the story goes back to that my parents-in-law, Bruno and Brigitte Wittmer, in 1980, they visited the Chianti Classico area. Keep in mind that 1980 was quite a different time in Chianti Classico. It was a rather depressed area, the economy was down, the wine produced in Chianti Classico was very poor, a lot of estates were abandoned. They fell in love with an abandoned estate and actually just wanted to buy the master house because we were a family from Switzerland. So they were looking to buy a holiday place. So they wanted to buy a ruin of a master house and redo it and make it into a family holiday place. And but then they had to find out if you want to buy the ruin, you have to buy the estate. So that's what they did in 1981. And already at that time, that estate had about 15 hectares of wine. And you can imagine that 15 hectares of wine is a little bit too much to just make some wine for you and your friends, even if you have a couple of friends. So that's how it all started actually. And then in 1987, we bought the second estate in the Chianti Classico area, the Poppi estate in the community of Rada in Chianti. So Brancaia Castellina in Chianti, Poppi Rada in Chianti. And today our two estates in Chianti Classico, they comprise of about 30 hectares of vineyards. Then in 1998, we started to build up a new winery in the Maremma. The Maremma is the coastal area of Tuscany. Imagine when you're on the hillside in front of our wine cellar in the Maremma, you see in about 4 miles distance, you see the Mediterranean Sea. On a clear day, you see the Isle of Corsica, the Isle of Elba, so a very different climate than in the Chianti Classico. So today, Barbara and me, second generation, we're in charge of 3 estates with 2 wine cellars and totally about 75 hectares of vineyards.
Amazing. Therefore, must be a blessing to you today.
Yeah.
Mr. Martin, what is it like to lead this family business now you're in the second generation? You and your wife, I was told that your wife is a winemaker.
Yes.
Amazing one.
Yeah.
And yourself, you are heading the sales, and marketing
Yeah.
for the family. what kind of challenges do you see ahead?
Well, you know, today the wine market is becoming more competitive and more competitive because the amount of wines which have been launched in the past years are enormous. I mean, when you consider the amount of wines you could buy in Singapore 20 years ago and the amount of wines you can buy today, it's enormous. So this means, first of all, that you have a very strong brand. So if you look at our flagship wine, which is Brancaia Blue,
Yes.
the first year we launched this wine was vintage 1988.
Wow, 1988.
1988, and we never changed this label.
Really?
In the
Wow.
beginning, of course, it was quite a revolution, but today a lot of people envy us for this label design because it's absolutely timeless, and we always stick to this brand and all the other wines.
Oh, wow. Now, who designed the label?
A Swiss designer.
Oh, really? Wow.
A Swiss designer.
Swiss design.
Swiss design. So a very strong brand. Then never compromise in quality. So quality is always first. If you decide to increase the quantity of production, you can do that, but you have to make sure that the quality always stays the same and even goes up and up. Because consumer will not be fooled over a long time by just the brand. The quality of the wine in the glass is the most important.
Including consistency.
Yes, exactly. Consistent quality vintage by vintage. I'll give you an example. Even with vintage 2002, you remember it was a very difficult vintage in Tuscany.
Yes.
We had a lot of rain. Many producers did not produce a top cru. We did. We made Il Blue 2002, and we got the highest rating that an Italian wine got. In that vintage was 92 wine-specific points.
Wow.
And I must tell you, this makes us even more proud than like a 96 points in a vintage like 04 and 07.
Now, about the labels, do these colors represent anything?
No, they just
story.
no, they just represent. This was the first one. It's the combination of the blue and the orange we liked, and the others are literally derivatives of the first wine, just to separate Il Blue, Brancaia Trek, Chianti Classico, and Il Traia.
Oh, okay. Now, for a new wine lover,
Yeah.
I mean, for those who have not experienced wine from Italy,
Yeah.
which vintage or which kind of wine would you recommend?
The wine you are holding in your hands now
Yes.
is Brancaia Trek. This is our entry-level wine. So this is the start to Brancaia. And if somebody's a new wine lover or starting to become a wine lover, I will clearly recommend to start with this wine. It's an IGT Rosso Toscano, so a Super Tuscan. I would rather like to call it a baby Super Tuscan. It's a wine that is a dominant Sangiovese, with a little bit Merlot, a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon. Very easy accessible, because we only age it in Tonneau. Tonneau is a double-sized barrique, 500 liters for 12 months. This helps the wine to be very easy accessible. Goes beautifully with a pasta dish, even with a salad, or just sipping it away. So I'm sure the consumer will have a great first impression with this wine, and then is able to move up to our next wines.
Now, are your wines available worldwide, including Singapore?
Yes, everywhere.
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 But folks, you could get your wines anywhere, any part of the world, including New York and Singapore as well. And if you are dropping by here in Singapore, do drop by at the Strix Trading company here at UE Square. And of course, if you can't find them, please contact our guest. That is, his website is www.brancaia. That is BRANCAIA.com, and you can find out more information. And also do check out Strix Trading here in Singapore at UE Square. What lessons have you learned so far as you led your company business, as a leader? Miriam asked, what is the secret of leading a very successful company to ensure there's consistency and also to maintain all the highest quality wines in Italy?
Yeah. Sorry. Well, as I said, the main point is consistency in quality. So never compromise for quality. If we have a certain yield of great quality for Il Blue, that's the amount of Il Blue we'll be making. So there will be some years we make a little bit less Il Blue. We don't care. If there's a yield with the quality for Il Blue which is higher, we do more Il Blue. So never compromise for quality. Then the second is the choice of our importers and distributors around the world. So trying to choose the best distributors and importers around the world and maintain a very good relationship together with them. Always make sure that they have Brancaia top of mind, that they have our best support, that they are motivated to sell our wine. Because today the key to success is distribution, distribution, distribution.
Now, what sort of criteria do you see in your grapes when you? Because how do you actually know that these grapes are right?
You mean before picking time?
Yes.
This is a decision which is made vineyard by vineyard. So when we have these 3 estates I told you, in the period starting about beginning of August until harvest is finished, normally mid-September, Barbara drives all 3 estates every morning and makes a decision on each vineyard, which vineyard is ready to be picked.
And how much wine did you taste so far?
Of vintage 012.
Yes.
Of vintage 012, I only tasted some crushed wine out of the fermentation, but that's a little bit difficult to judge because it's more grape juice at this time. But as I said, quality of 2012 will be good. Yield will be a little smaller than in a normal vintage because we had very hot weather in July and August this year.
Now, about the controversial issue about wines for using screw caps and cork, everybody is contemplating. Why do you still choose to have the wines in cork?
Well, I have to make a little bit of a differentiation here. If we're talking about our top wines, Il Blue and Il Atraia,
Yes.
which have an aging potential of 25 to 30 years in a cellar, there is no alternative to a natural cork. And just to give you an idea, here we spend about €1 for 1 natural cork. So this is the best quality of cork you can buy. It's the same like Chateau Latour or Schwalblanc is using that cork. So here there is no alternative.
That's from Portugal, right?
Yes.
Yes. Portuguese.
Yeah. For Brancaia Tre, we don't use a natural cork, we use Norma cork, which is not a silicone, it's a multi-component artificial cork. Here we would be also prepared to have a cork screw. The only problem here, if we wanted a corkscrew here, we would need a complete new bottling line because the corkscrew does not work on the bottling line for all the other wineries. So what we're considering now in future, because we're building a new wine cellar in Colle so I said we will have 2 bottling lines, one for corkscrew and one for natural cork.
Yeah, but are you in favor in having wines with corkscrew?
Listen, technically for a wine which has not high aging potential, it does not really matter.
Okay.
So it's more a marketing issue. No, I mean honestly, there are markets which say, yeah, they like corkscrew. You take Australia, they even would drink Bordeaux with a corkscrew. They don't mind. In the US, a wine like this retailing at $20 with a corkscrew, consumers will not appreciate it. So it's not only a scientific discussion, it's also a marketing discussion.
Perception.
Exactly. It's about perception. It's about celebrating wine, you know. For many consumers, celebrating wine still means opening a bottle, taking the cork out, So you cannot underestimate that part of consumer. And at the end, consumer is deciding what he's buying.
Now, about the food pairing with wines. Have you done a lot of food pairing with wines other than in Italy, but in Asia?
Yeah.
Is there a peculiar dish that you love or tried so far?
You mean now together with our wines?
That's right. Do you find Asian cuisine is able to complement with your wine?
Yes, absolutely. I would think particularly seafood dishes, which have a certain spiciness, they can go very well. Or if you imagine some spicy meat dishes which you have, absolutely. Of course, together with sushi or sashimi or something like that, it's a little bit difficult. But with cooked dishes, with a pronounced taste, you will be surprised how well these wines work.
Now, for someone as distinguished as yourself, for those local Asians who are now visiting a local or Italian restaurant, a fine restaurant, or even a French restaurant in Singapore or other parts of Asia, what would you recommend a good bottle of wine from your cellar?
In general, or if
Yes.
they're going to a really good restaurant?
Yes.
Well, if they're going to a really good restaurant, of course I would recommend our flagship Brancaia Il Blu. This is 50% Sangiovese, 45% Merlot, 5% Cabernet Sauvignon.
Amazing.
It's aged 20 months in French oak. It's been in Wine Spectator Top 100 on rank 10 with vintage 04. So a very, very highly rewarded wine. If you drink it young, like in 2008, I would recommend that you decant it so that it gets a lot of oxygen, open up, and you will enjoy it. And choose a dish with a pronounced taste. So if you're going to an Italian restaurant, then order osso buco or a bistecca fiorentino.
Well said and done, and congratulations to your winery, Mr. Mark, and folks here at the National Critics' Choice Online News. I'm Robin Stienberg. Please come by at the Straits Trading shop here in Union Square, or if you're in New York, you can drop by and take a look at some of his best wines. And you know what? I'm Robin Stienberg here again, here in Singapore. Don't forget, Italian Chianti is one of the best wineries there is, including Casa, right?
Casa Brancaia.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, my pronunciation is not there yet. But folks, please drop by anytime you want at his winery. I'm Robin Stienberg. Thank you for joining me. Thank you.
Thank you, pleasure.
No, it's okay. It's so